Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick Gaska and welcome back to I Can Do That DIY for another doll repaint video. Today, like usual, we're making something random and weird. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, for today's project we'll be using this Stegosaurus toy I bought on Amazon. It ended up being way smaller than I thought it was going to be when I got it in person. So to go with how small it is, we'll be using an equally small doll. So I'll be using this Barbie Chelsea doll. I believe the name Chelsea refers to the line of Barbie and not this doll specifically, but we'll be referring to this doll as Chelsea from now on. Cool, now that it's out of its packaging, let's start prepping both toys. I'm going to start by cutting off the head of the Stegosaurus with my Dremel tool, and also a saw because this thing ends up being completely solid and was really hard to get through. Awesome! Now that that's completely off, let's refine the edge a little bit more with my Dremel tool. Once I get it to about here, I think it's a good time to cut the face off of Chelsea. To do this, I'm going to be using a combination of my Dremel and an X-Acto knife. Cool! Now I have a doll with no face and a dinosaur face. It only seems logical to put them together. But before I do that, I need to refine the edge and clear out more space inside the Stegosaurus head so it doesn't interfere with the doll's neck peg. I'm also using some wire cutters to refine the edge on Chelsea and to get rid of that hair. Alright, cool, I think this looks pretty good. Off screen, I sanded the body with some sandpaper to make sure that the paint and the sealants will stick to the body later on. Now let's glue the dinosaur head to the body with some super glue. I'll start by gluing the bottom jaw and sticking it to the face. After that dries, I'll glue the back of the head and press the two together. After that's all dry, I'm going to blend the head into the body with some epoxy sculpt. For safety reasons, I'll be wearing gloves when I'm mixing equal parts of epoxy sculpt. The epoxy sculpt is the most toxic when it's mixing and can irritate your skin, but I'm going to wear the gloves throughout the whole process. After I have it mixed, I'm going to start adding the epoxy sculpt to the back of the head and the bottom of the jaw to blend it. Once I've added enough epoxy sculpt, I'm going to add some texture. To do this, I'll be using my awl to make some grooves and a metal tube to create a nice circular pattern. I'm also using some water to smooth things out and to help the tool not stick to the clay. Once I'm completely happy with the sculpting, I'm going to set it aside for 24 hours to cure. Then I'm going to do a base layer of WATERCOLOR spray paint in TS1 Red Brown. After that, we'll be building up some color with various shades of acrylic paint. I'm going to start by dry brushing on a lighter brown tone all over. Then I'll move on to a mid-tone yellow, and finish off with a light yellow. So Chelsea's looking very yellow at the moment, so let's add some green. I'll be using some green acrylic paint to dot in some color, and then use various shades of pastels to add some more green. I'm also using some black acrylic paint to paint the eye. After that, I'll use some red pastels for inside the mouth. Then I'll go back to using a green pastel and do a dark green to contour. After that, I'll use a white pastel to highlight. Alright, on the next layer, I'll use white acrylic paint to add catch lights to the eyes. And then to finish off the repaint, I'll use various tones of pink pastels to add some blush to the cheeks. Off screen, I tried 3 times to make Chelsea a suit so that it can be paired back to the Bridezilla doll, but all 3 times it failed. So after lots of frustration, I decided to make Chelsea into a demon lord, because hey, why not? So let's make Chelsea some armor out of WORBLA. Here are the pattern pieces I made for the armor off screen. I'm just going to trace them onto the WORBLA and then cut them out. So here are the pieces for the chest and the back of the armor. And here are the 2 pieces for the shoulder. I'm just going to heat them up with my heat gun and then put them on the doll. Very carefully, because it's a little hot, I'm going to mold it to the doll. I'm going to start with the chest and then move to the back. Cool. It's a little bit of a bummer that I'm going to be covering up some of this painting, but oh well. After I do the front and the back, I'm going to start working on the shoulder pieces. Again, I'm just going to heat the pieces up and then mold them onto the doll. The 2 different wedge shapes will create different angles when stacked. I'm going to put on the bottom layer for both sides and then move on to the top. After I finished the main body armor, I did the gauntlets and the shin guards off screen. I'm just saying I did them off screen, but somehow I forgot to press the record button, so yeah, that happened. Now I'm going to add some more accent pieces to the main body armor, the gauntlets, and the shin guards. Again, I'm just going to heat the pieces up and then mold them onto the doll. Cool, that looks pretty good for the armor for now. Let's move on to making a teensy tiny gladiator skirt out of this little leather swatch I picked up at a fabric store years ago and decided to hold on to. I'm going to start by marking the length of my skirt and the length of my waistband. Then I'm going to mark out each individual panel. Then mark the point for each panel. After that, I'll cut everything out. Alright, awesome. That looks pretty good. And because the cut edge is a lighter color and kind of sticks out, I decided to paint it a dark brown. I'm going to set that aside to dry, and while I'm in the mood for painting, let's paint the armor gold. After that's all painted gold, I'm going to set it aside to dry. Once it's all dry, we're going to do a black wash on the armor. I created this black wash by watering down some black acrylic paint mixed with a touch of brown. The black wash is really awesome and really transforms it. It brings out the natural texture of the WORBLA and makes it look all old and used. Alright, awesome, the armor looks nice and old. Now let's give Chelsea their skirt. I'm going to be super gluing it to the front of Chelsea and to the back. And after I got the skirt glued on, I decided Chelsea needs a very dramatic cape. So we're going to make a very distressed dramatic cape out of some red cotton. I ripped out a square to get a nice distressed edge and then cut up one end. We're going to further distress it with my awl and a pair of scissors. Then I'm going to gather up the top with a needle and thread, tie a knot, glue it to the back, and then add a black wash to the bottom so it looks nice and dirty. After the black wash is completely dried, I'm going to add some gold accents to the armor with some rhinestones. I'm just going to glue them on with some super glue. I'm going to use two different sizes of rhinestones. I'm using some larger ones to go around the waist, and then I'm going to use smaller ones to go at the end of each skirt panel. And then I'm putting some larger ones on the front and back of the shoulders. I'm going to do one large rhinestone on each gauntlet and then do some smaller rhinestones on the shin guards. But being the super professional filmmaker that I am, I forgot to film that part. And I also didn't film the part where I made him teensy tiny sandals. Yeah, awesome! But after I did both of those things, the doll's complete. So here he is. Here's little Demon Lord Chelsea. I think he turned out really cute somehow. He's really tiny compared to my other dolls, and it's really adorable. I'm a little disappointed that my first idea for the groom outfit didn't quite work out, but I still like this nonetheless. For some reason, I thought somehow I could manage pulling off a shawl collar or a notch collar in such a teeny tiny scale, but it was really hard and it just didn't work out. I am still very happy with this armor, and he looks really cute as a little Demon Lord, so yeah, I'm really happy with this doll. Please let me know what you guys think about this doll in the comments below, I'd like to hear it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest projects if you want to see more dolls like this in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So yeah, for the rest of the video, just enjoy little Demon Lord Chelsea. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!